Hello and welcome back to College Algebra MAT 150. Today we will be covering section 1.1 starting with points and ordered pairs. So before we discuss what a point is, let's talk about what a coordinate is. And a coordinate is just a number so a coordinate corresponds to a number on a number line. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, if it says plot the number 3 on a number line, here's the number line, again, always going from negative to positive. Here's 3 right in the middle, right? So sometimes you can put other numbers, but 0, 1, 2. But it corresponds to this place on the number line, right? So a point then, so this is a coordinate, right? So a point, however, on a Cartesian coordinate plane, so 2 dimensions, has 2 coordinates. It has an x-coordinate that corresponds to a number on one axis and a perpendicular y-coordinate, and a perpendicular axis, which we will call a y-coordinate. Again, that would be something that goes sort of up and down. And a point is always written as x and then y. So we always have x, then y. The x-coordinate is always on the left and the y-coordinate is always on the right. In fact, since you always have x on the left and y on the right, then these points are examples of what's called an ordered pair. Okay, so the x-coordinate basically tells you how far left or right you go, and typically we have, for example, in the example below, let me go ahead and scoot this up a little bit. We have an x-coordinate and then a y-coordinate. So x's always tell you how far left or right you go on a graph, and the y-coordinate is always how far up or down the point is up on the graph. And typically we also start at the origin, which is known as 0, 0, when we're trying to count up left or right. So let's plot the following. So let's start with negative 4, 0. So this says go left 4. So if we start at 0, 0, go left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we don't move up or down at all. So our point would be right here. So we can label these. Oops, did a terrible job labeling there. Let's label every other one. All right, there we go. So 0, 0, well, that's the origin. Oftentimes, it's also a good idea when you have the graph to label it. It's not as important when it's along an axis, or the origin for that matter, but something like 3, 2, so that means we're going to go right 2. Again, it's always x, then y. So right 3, and then up 2. And then, so if you don't have a very well labeled axes, or maybe it's off, again, it's just a good idea. So when it's not on the axes or the right in the middle, go ahead and label your point. 5, negative 2, that means go right 5 and go down 2. We're on the edge here. And the last one is negative 3, negative 5, so go left 3 and down 5. Again, always a good idea to label your, label your points. All right, so that leads us to what a graph is. The graph of an equation containing the variables x and y is the set of all points x, y in the coordinate plane that satisfy the equation. So namely, a graph is a graph of an equation is the set of all solutions, which are of the form points. So points are solutions to an equation with 2 variables, x and y. All right, and we will pick up with that in the next lecture.